In the center of Europe is a country of 10.5 million people called the Czech Republic. Its capital city of Prague, with its amazingly well-preserved medieval architecture, attracts tourists from around the world. It also attracts foreigners who are looking to stay in the country on a more permanent basis. These people from other parts of Europe, from Asia, and even from Africa are changing the face of the country and challenging traditional notions of what it means to be Czech.
Here in the beautiful Czech Republic, you see people from other lands selling boat trips. Charles Bridge, the most famous bridge in Prague. Here's a gentleman in Prague peddling communism.
Well, the internationalization of Prague has brought some unfortunate multicultural enrichments, including the introduction of a murderous Marxist from the Americas to Prague's bar scene. Of course, the Czechs suffered for decades under communist occupation. They rose up in the Velvet Revolution to break free in the early 90s. Now, I don't know whether the Africans who are employed in Prague to generate business from English-speaking tourists speak a word of Czech, or share any of the cultural or historical context that native-born Czechs would automatically bring with them to any job. Native-born Czechs would probably know, for example, that before Prague became the internationalized city it is today, it was in medieval times one of the largest and most important European cities.
I mean, nowadays it doesn't look like that big city, but in the 14th century Prague was one of the biggest European cities, maybe smaller than Rome, but for instance much bigger than London, much bigger than Vienna and so on. And nowadays Prague, with 1.2 million inhabitants, is just an average size of a European capital.
Or would you prefer euro?
Whatever, I don't care.
So now that Czech Republic is in the European Union, is it pretty easy for people to come here to live and work?
Yeah, it's like anybody.
The Xenophobe's Guide to the Czechs. Should be interesting reading. Well, we see on page 50, quote, "It is an unfortunate fact that Czechs generally treat ethnic minorities worse than they do farm animals." If that were really true, then why does Prague attract so many visitors from outside the Czech Republic and outside Europe? Now, obviously, this book isn't meant to be taken seriously.
That's confirmed by the fact that this entire xenophobe series fails to include any of the world's most xenophobic nations. Just about any Muslim country, just about any African country would qualify. In South Africa, unwanted immigrants can be set on fire at the hands of angry natives in a practice known as necklacing. In South Africa, the government enacts policies explicitly designed to dispossess whites of their property and limit their job opportunities. In South Africa, officials of the ruling political party lead their supporters in singing songs about killing whites. No mention of South Africa in this series. The country with the second lowest fertility rate in Europe is the Czech Republic, averaging only 1.25 children per woman. While a few advanced Asian countries have even lower fertility rates, they also have higher life expectancies. For example, the average Japanese person lives to be 82.2 years. The life expectancy of someone living in the Czech Republic is 77.0 years. These demographic realities suggest that the population of the Czech Republic will collapse The Czech Republic could avoid a population decline as dramatic as the low fertility rate points toward. It could do so by taking in massive quantities of immigrants. That's what all of the European countries west of Czech Republic are doing. The countries to the east of Czech Republic tend to have very little immigration and still largely maintain a distinctive European character. In the center of Europe, the Czech Republic is a transitional country. Prague, in some ways, looks like a Western European city that has marginalized its once proud heritage to become just another global mishmash of people. Yet in Prague you do not yet see the immigrant ghettos that blight the urban landscape of London, Paris, and Brussels. It may only be a matter of time. As an EU member nation, the Czech Republic is somewhat powerless to resist the flood of non-European Europeans as they spill over from France, Germany, and other countries with large non-European populations. With each passing hour, people of non-European descent gain demographic strength within Europe. And with each passing hour, the Czech Republic inches closer to a demographic dusk in which a population that isn't replacing itself through childbearing disappears into history.